Have you ever wondered why some people are forgotten almost immediately after they leave, while others leave a lasting impact that can never truly be replaced? Most people assume it's because of status, money, looks, or popularity. But Sigma men know that true value comes from something much deeper. A Sigma male doesn't spend his life trying to impress people. He doesn't chase attention, constantly seek validation, or force himself into the spotlight. In fact, many Sigma men prefer to stay in the background. Yet, despite their quiet nature, they often become the people others miss the most when they're gone. Why? Because a Sigma brings qualities that are becoming increasingly rare in today's world. Loyalty, integrity, emotional control, independence, self-respect. While many people change depending on who they're around, a Sigma remains authentic. He doesn't pretend to be someone he's not just to gain approval. And because of that, the people who truly know him understand his value. The interesting thing is that most people don't realize how important a Sigma is until he's no longer there. They take his patience for granted. They assume his loyalty will always be available. They think he'll continue giving his time, energy, and support no matter how he's treated. But eventually, every Sigma reaches a limit, and when he decides to walk away, people often discover something surprising. Replacing a Sigma is much harder than they expected. Not because Sigma men are perfect, not because they never make mistakes, but because the qualities they bring are difficult to find in a world filled with superficial relationships and temporary connections. A Sigma doesn't try to compete with everyone around him. He focuses on becoming the best version of himself. He values honesty over popularity, peace over drama, and purpose over attention. These traits create a presence that leaves a lasting impression on the people around him. In today's video, we're going to explore *10 signs a Sigma is hard to replace. These signs reveal the unique qualities that make Sigma men stand out and why people often realize their true value only after they're gone. As we go through these signs, pay close attention. You may recognize some of these traits in yourself, or you may finally understand why certain people leave a gap that nobody else seems able to fill. And trust me, the number one sign is the reason most people regret losing a Sigma. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more Sigma mindset, psychology, and self-improvement content. Now let's dive into 10 signs a Sigma is hard to replace. 10. He never pretends to be someone he's not. One of the biggest reasons a Sigma male is hard to replace is his authenticity. In a world where many people constantly change their personality to fit in, gain approval, or impress others, a Sigma remains true to himself. He doesn't wear different masks depending on who he's around. The person you meet on the first day is usually the same person you'll meet years later. Most people spend a large part of their lives trying to be accepted. They change their opinions to match the crowd. They hide parts of their personality to avoid criticism. They say things they don't truly believe because they want others to like them. A Sigma male has very little interest in playing those games. He understands that pretending to be someone else might bring temporary acceptance, but it comes at the cost of self-respect. This authenticity makes him stand out. People may not always agree with him, but they know where they stand with him. They don't have to wonder whether he's being genuine or whether he's secretly trying to impress someone. His honesty creates trust, and trust is one of the rarest qualities in modern relationships. Because a Sigma is authentic, he often attracts people who appreciate real connections. He doesn't build relationships based on appearances or popularity. He builds them on honesty and mutual respect. That's why the people closest to him usually feel comfortable being themselves around him. They know he won't judge them for being different because he has spent his own life refusing to conform. The interesting thing is that many people don't fully appreciate this quality until it's gone. They become so used to having someone genuine in their lives that they take it for granted. Then, when the Sigma leaves, they're forced to deal with people who constantly change their personality depending on the situation. Suddenly, they realize how rare authenticity really is. A Sigma male doesn't need to pretend because he's comfortable with who he is. He doesn't chase validation, popularity, or approval. His confidence comes from self-acceptance rather than public opinion. And that's exactly why he's so difficult to replace. Genuine people are rare. People who remain authentic under pressure are even rarer. Once someone experiences that level of honesty and consistency, finding it again becomes extremely difficult. 9. He brings peace instead of drama. One of the rarest qualities a Sigma male brings into people's lives is peace. In today's world, many relationships are filled with unnecessary drama, emotional games, gossip, and constant conflict. Some people seem to create problems wherever they go. They thrive on attention, arguments, and chaos. A Sigma male is the complete opposite. He values peace more than popularity. He doesn't enjoy creating tension, starting conflicts, or participating in pointless arguments. Instead, he prefers a calm and stable environment where people can focus on growth, respect, and genuine connection. Because of this, the people around him often feel more relaxed in his presence. A Sigma doesn't waste energy on gossip. He doesn't spend hours discussing other people's lives or creating unnecessary problems. When drama appears, he usually distances himself from it rather than becoming involved. This habit protects his mental health and allows him to stay focused on what truly matters. The interesting thing is that many people don't realize how valuable peace is until it's gone. They become accustomed to having someone in their life who remains calm, rational, and emotionally balanced. Then, when the Sigma leaves, they suddenly notice how much chaos other people bring into their lives. His calm energy becomes something they miss. His ability to avoid unnecessary conflict becomes something they appreciate too late. That's one reason Sigma men are difficult to replace. Peace is becoming increasingly rare, and people who genuinely provide it are even rarer. A Sigma male understands that life is already challenging enough without creating extra problems. That's why he chooses peace whenever possible. He doesn't feel the need to win every argument or prove every point. He simply protects his energy and focuses on building a better life. And when someone like that leaves, the difference becomes obvious very quickly. 8. He is loyal to the right people. Loyalty is one of the strongest qualities a Sigma male possesses. While many people change depending on circumstances, a Sigma remains loyal to the people who have earned his trust and respect. He doesn't offer loyalty freely to everyone, but when he does, it's genuine. A Sigma understands that loyalty isn't just about staying around during good times. True loyalty is being present when things become difficult. It's supporting people when they need help. It's keeping promises even when it's inconvenient. It's remaining honest when lying would be easier. Because Sigma men are selective about who they trust, their loyalty becomes extremely valuable. They don't build hundreds of superficial relationships. Instead, they focus on a smaller number of meaningful connections. When someone becomes important to a Sigma, they gain a level of support that is difficult to find elsewhere. Unfortunately, many people take this loyalty for granted. They assume the Sigma will always be there no matter how he's treated. They believe his patience has no limits. Over time, they stop appreciating the effort he puts into the relationship. Then one day, the Sigma decides to leave. That's when they realize what they lost. Finding loyal people is already difficult. Finding someone who remains loyal without expecting constant rewards is even harder. Once that loyalty disappears, replacing it becomes nearly impossible. A Sigma male doesn't stay because he has to. He stays because he chooses to. That's what makes his loyalty so valuable. It's a conscious decision, not an obligation. And when someone loses that kind of loyalty, they often spend years searching for it again. 7. He doesn't depend on anyone. One of the reasons Sigma men are so difficult to replace is their independence. They don't rely heavily on other people for happiness, confidence, or direction. While many individuals constantly seek approval and support, a Sigma learns how to stand on his own. This independence gives him a unique strength. He doesn't become desperate when people leave. He doesn't fall apart when circumstances change. He adapts, learns, and continues moving forward. Because he is self-sufficient, the people around him often feel secure in his presence. They know he can handle challenges without becoming overwhelmed. They know he can solve problems instead of creating them. This reliability becomes extremely valuable in relationships, friendships, and professional environments. A Sigma male also understands how to enjoy his own company. He doesn't need constant entertainment or validation from others. He can spend time alone without feeling lonely. This ability allows him to think clearly, develop himself, and maintain emotional balance. Many people misunderstand independence. They assume it means not caring about others. That's not true. A Sigma cares deeply about the people in his life. The difference is that he doesn't depend on them for his identity or self-worth. When someone like this leaves, people often realize how much stability he brought into their lives. His confidence, reliability, and self-sufficiency created a sense of strength that isn't easy to find. That's why replacing a Sigma male is so difficult. Independent people are rare. People who are independent while still being loyal, respectful, and supportive are even rarer. And that's exactly what makes a Sigma stand out from the crowd. 6. He respects boundaries and expects the same. One of the qualities that makes a Sigma male difficult to replace is his understanding of boundaries. In today's world, many people struggle with this concept. Some constantly invade other people's privacy, demand attention whenever they want it, or expect unlimited access to someone's time and energy. A Sigma operates differently. He understands that healthy relationships require respect, space, and balance. A Sigma male respects other people's boundaries because he values his own. He doesn't feel entitled to anyone's time, attention, or personal space. If someone needs time alone, he understands. If someone has different priorities, he respects them. This maturity makes interactions with him feel comfortable and healthy. At the same time, a Sigma expects the same level of respect in return. He doesn't tolerate people who constantly cross his boundaries, manipulate him, or ignore his needs. He understands that self-respect requires limits. Without boundaries, relationships become exhausting and unhealthy. Many people don't appreciate this quality until they experience relationships without it. They become accustomed to someone who respects their independence and treats them like an equal. Then, after the Sigma leaves, they find themselves surrounded by people who constantly create pressure, drama, or emotional dependency. The Sigma's balanced approach becomes something they miss. His ability to respect boundaries creates trust and emotional safety. People feel comfortable around him because they know he won't try to control them. That's why he's hard to replace. Genuine respect is rare, and people who understand how to maintain healthy boundaries without becoming distant are even rarer. 5. He listens more than he talks. One of the most underrated reasons a Sigma male is difficult to replace is his ability to listen. In a world where everyone wants to be heard, very few people truly know how to listen. Most conversations have become competitions where people wait for their turn to speak, rather than genuinely paying attention. A Sigma male is different. He listens carefully. He observes. He pays attention not only to words, but also to emotions, behavior, and patterns. Because of this, people often feel understood around him. When someone talks to a Sigma, they usually don't feel judged. They don't feel rushed. They feel heard. And in today's fast-paced world, that feeling is incredibly valuable. Listening allows a Sigma to build deeper connections. Instead of focusing on impressing people, he focuses on understanding them. This creates trust and meaningful relationships. People naturally open up because they sense his sincerity. Many individuals don't realize how rare this quality is until it's gone. They become accustomed to someone who genuinely pays attention. Then they encounter people who constantly interrupt, redirect conversations toward themselves, or fail to listen at all. Suddenly, they appreciate the Sigma's presence far more than they did before. His listening skills also make him a better problem solver. Because he gathers information before speaking, his advice often feels thoughtful and useful. That's why people remember him. Being heard is one of the deepest human needs, and someone who truly listens is not easy to replace. 4. He stays calm when others panic. One of the strongest qualities a Sigma male brings to any situation is emotional stability. When problems appear, many people immediately panic. They focus on worst-case scenarios, react emotionally, and make impulsive decisions. A Sigma male remains calm. This calmness doesn't mean he never feels stress or fear. It means he has learned how to manage those emotions instead of allowing them to control him. While others become overwhelmed, he focuses on solutions. This ability makes him incredibly valuable in relationships, friendships, and professional environments. During difficult times, people naturally look for stability. They want someone who can think clearly when everyone else is losing control. That's exactly what a Sigma provides. Because he remains composed, others often feel safer around him. His calm energy reduces anxiety and creates confidence. People trust him because he doesn't make situations worse through emotional reactions. Many individuals underestimate this quality until they lose it. Once the Sigma is gone, they realize how much stability he provided. They notice how often he prevented unnecessary drama and helped people stay focused during challenges. Emotional control is becoming increasingly rare. In a world where people react instantly to everything, someone who remains calm under pressure stands out. That's why a Sigma male is difficult to replace. His ability to stay composed when others panic creates a sense of security that many people don't fully appreciate until it's no longer there. 3. He pushes people to become better. One of the most powerful reasons a Sigma male is hard to replace is that he naturally inspires growth in the people around him. He doesn't do it through lectures, pressure, or constant advice. He does it through his actions. A Sigma is often disciplined, focused, and committed to self-improvement. When people spend enough time around him, they begin noticing those habits and consciously or unconsciously start wanting more from themselves. A Sigma male doesn't waste his life complaining about circumstances. He focuses on solutions. He works on his goals, develops his skills, and constantly looks for ways to improve. This mindset becomes contagious. Friends, coworkers, and even family members often find themselves motivated by his example. The interesting thing is that a Sigma rarely seeks recognition for this influence. He isn't trying to be a leader or role model. He simply lives according to his values. Yet his behavior often inspires others more than words ever could. Many people don't realize how much a Sigma helped them grow until he's gone. Suddenly, the person who motivated them to think bigger, work harder, and improve themselves is no longer there. Without that influence, they begin to notice the difference. That's why he's difficult to replace. People who genuinely encourage growth are rare. People who do it without ego, manipulation, or hidden motives are even rarer. A Sigma male helps others become better simply by being the best version of himself, and that kind of influence leaves a lasting impact. 2. He walks away instead of playing games. One of the clearest signs of a Sigma male's value is that he refuses to play games. In today's world, many people rely on manipulation, mind games, mixed signals, and emotional tactics to get what they want. A Sigma has little patience for any of it. If he notices dishonesty, disrespect, or manipulation, he doesn't usually argue or create drama. He simply leaves. He understands that healthy relationships are built on trust and mutual respect, not emotional games. This ability to walk away is often misunderstood. Some people see it as coldness or indifference. In reality, it's self-respect. A Sigma knows that staying in toxic situations only creates more problems. Rather than trying to force people to change, he focuses on protecting his peace. Many people assume he'll always be there. They take his patience for granted and believe he will tolerate behavior indefinitely. Then one day, he quietly walks away. No dramatic speech. No emotional scene. Just distance. That's when people realize how much they relied on his presence. They suddenly miss the honesty, stability, and respect he brought into their lives. They discover that finding someone who refuses to play games is much harder than they thought. A Sigma male understands that his time and energy are valuable. He would rather be alone than trapped in relationships built on manipulation. And that's exactly why he's so difficult to replace. 1. He gives genuine value, not empty words. The number one reason a Sigma male is hard to replace is because he provides genuine value. Many people are skilled at making promises, giving compliments, and saying the right things. But when challenges appear, their actions don't match their words. A Sigma is different. When he cares about someone, he shows it through consistency. His loyalty is real. His support is genuine. His respect isn't conditional. He doesn't need attention or recognition for doing the right thing. He simply does it because it aligns with his character. This authenticity creates trust. People know where they stand with him. They don't have to guess his intentions or wonder whether he's being sincere. What they see is what they get. Over time, this reliability becomes incredibly valuable. Friends trust him. Partners trust him. Colleagues trust him. His actions create a foundation that many relationships lack. The problem is that people often don't fully appreciate this value until it's gone. They become accustomed to having someone dependable in their lives. Then, after the Sigma leaves, they realize how difficult it is to find another person with the same level of integrity, loyalty, and consistency. The truth is that genuine value can't be replaced easily. Anyone can make promises. Very few people consistently deliver on them. That's why a Sigma male leaves such a lasting impression. He doesn't build relationships on appearances, popularity, or convenience. He builds them on character. And character is one of the rarest qualities in the world today. At the end of the day, a Sigma male is difficult to replace because he offers qualities that are becoming increasingly rare. He brings authenticity instead of masks, peace instead of drama, loyalty instead of convenience, and value instead of empty promises. He doesn't chase attention. He doesn't try to impress everyone. He simply focuses on becoming the best version of himself and treating people with honesty and respect. That's why many people don't fully appreciate a Sigma until he's no longer there. The reality is that anyone can be replaced physically. But the character, mindset, loyalty, and stability that a Sigma brings into people's lives are much harder to find again. And that's why losing a Sigma often teaches people a lesson they didn't expect. Sometimes you don't realize the value of someone until they're gone. Now I want to ask you something. Which of these 10 Sigma traits do you think makes someone the hardest to replace? Loyalty, authenticity, calmness, independence, or genuine value? Let me know your answer in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Sigma mindset, psychology, self-improvement, and personal growth content. Remember, a Sigma doesn't try to be unforgettable. He simply becomes so valuable that people never forget him.